Hi there folks, this is Deckard Spade, and today we're going to jump right into Parental Glidance. This is another one of those episodes that hits home. I grew up having some supportive parents, but I also grew up being embarrassed at the fact that they were that supportive. But as I grew older, I also understood that their expression of how they cared for me was also shown in their support. From my mom wanting to throw good birthday parties for me, and my dad coaching some of my sporting events, I could see that they wanted to have me succeed in life. And from their support that they gave me, as well as what they continue to give me, helps give me the confidence to continue on with what I do in life. So, when I watched this episode, I can tell you there was a little bit of cringe, but something that I could appreciate as well. There are some parents out there that mean well with what they say and do. But for all the guidance that we get from them in our young age, we also tend to forget that they also make mistakes too. And sometimes they show just a bit too much support. And with that said, we look at today's episode. And when we start, we have... my ear's bleeding. Ah! I can understand wanting to get through with a joke, but sweet Celestia, I was wearing headphones when this happened. Scootaloo ends up meeting the parents of Rainbow Dash, Bo Hothoof and Windy Whistles. All three of them end up sharing some moments regarding Rainbow Dash's past. And they really support their daughter. They keep the room pristine, and they end up showing Scootaloo the trophy room.
I installed the sound effects myself. Pretty great, huh?
So great!
I want you to think about this for a minute. Bo put in sound effects to the door because they admire their daughter that much. And this part of the episode sets you up for the cringe. If you experienced your parents being overbearing before, this really brings out the idea of it. However, if you see your parents as being overbearing, others may not see it exactly the same way. In most genres, there's a lot of die-hard fans out there. Scootaloo is actually a good parallel for this. She is supposedly Rainbow Dash's #1 fan. Which makes you ask, why does Rainbow Dash not mind her so much as her parents? I think it might have something to do with the fact that they aren't firing off live artillery in the middle of an air show. This brings a whole new term to the idea of think before you act. Rainbow Dash's parents both bring things to a major extreme, which kinda fits considering how competitive the family might be, but this goes to the point where it smothers her with affection, and it affects her life. Maybe not to the extreme that Rainbow perceives it, but you can't argue that Rainbow Dash's parents have tunnel vision when it comes to their daughter. This then leads to the shouting scene, and it reminds me of cringeworthy teenage behavior. And I get that Rainbow Dash had to draw a boundary. Her parents had definitely crossed a line, but there are plenty of better ways to do so. And you can say that this is like the bottled up reference of anger, but when I watch this scene, I don't just see anger. I see stress, resentment, and irritation. Rainbow Dash obviously cares about her parents. However, she chose to avoid the conflict for years. She just didn't want to yell at her parents. She thought that this was probably the inevitable outcome. So instead of talking things through, she avoided it until it blew up. And what I get from this the most is that her parents are supportive, regardless of the yelling. Sure, they're shocked, and their feelings are hurt, but they still love their daughter. This makes for a relatable lesson. We should be thankful for the support that we get. Scootaloo admires Rainbow Dash, but she didn't have the same support growing up. Unlike Bo and Windy Whistles, Scootaloo has a different connection. She notes that she admires Rainbow Dash for the fact that she had that support, not just because of her accomplishments. And this in turn helps Rainbow Dash realize that she had made a mistake. This leads to Rainbow Dash apologizing to her parents and the resolution of the episode. This episode isn't my favorite, but it handles the topic well. We should be appreciative to our parents or whatever role models we have for the support that they give, and that we can still accept them regardless of their flaws. This episode also shows us that we should communicate our problems rather than holding them in. What do you guys think? Please leave your comments in the section below. And as always, thanks for staying a while to listen.